It's being sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, guys, tonight's call-in segment's being sponsored by our friends over at Taylor's Archery. Y'all can find them at 100 East Lauderdale Street there in Tullahoma, Tennessee, or you can give owner Tracy Taylor a call at 931-563-7706 and let him and the crew take care of all your archery needs. Spend some time on a rainy day in there in that indoor archery range, and I tell you what, maybe you can do like Parker, get out there and get you a deer with your own homemade bow. You never know. I bet Tracy could service that if he needed to, you know. He'd take care of you. But get down there and check them out and tell them thank you. Well, guys, welcome back to the studio. We want to go ahead and open up the phone lines for you. So if y'all want to call in, you can give us a call now, 615-737-7767. And while we're waiting on a few calls to come in, Parker, let's start talking about this bow. First of all, what kind of wood is this?
The limbs on this bow are made out of bow dock, and I actually went out and cut the tree myself off my pa's old farm that we now own a piece of. So I went out and I found the tree, I identified it, and then a couple months later I went and actually found a good limb off of it and cut it down, and then we set it out in the corner of the shop at school, and it sat there from October to February drying out until we got into it and actually cut out the limbs, and we were trying to make a riser out of it, just didn't have enough wood left over to do so.
Right.
But the limbs turned out really good.
Yeah, they did. Now, how long of a piece of wood did this start out as? Like, how big was that limb, probably?
The log itself, it was probably 80 inches long.
Okay.
I don't know what that translates to feet.
Right.
But it was a good size, and then it's about 6 inches wide.
Okay. And then, how does the process go with this? So you've got a tree limb. How did you start? How do you even start in this direction?
And to get started in that direction, you also said it was made for your height, for your pull, in a certain
exactly
way.
how
How does that work?
So there's different resources you can use. So there's self bows. There's two types of bows: self bows and laminated bows. This is a laminated bow. We got 4 limbs on each side of the one big limb. So there's 4 laminates on each side. There's 3 on the front and 1 on the back. Now, of course, you pick your prettiest laminates and put them on the outside. They're followed up by one big piece of fiberglass on the front side, and then on the rear side, it's 2 smaller pieces of fiberglass. So to make your laminates, what I had to do was I had to get all the bark off the log, and then we ran it through a bandsaw and then a table saw and then a bandsaw again until we finally got 8 pretty laminates out of it. Then after that, they're way too thick to do anything with, so we run it through a little sanding machine. I'm sure it's got a name, but it slipped my mind right fast. Planer, that's it. Okay, so after you plane them down, you go really slow. You can go fast at the beginning, but once you start getting around close to what your dimensions need to be, you slow it way down and then take off thousandths of an inch at a time. Yeah. Then once you get your 4 laminates, you stack them together, and there's a chart you go by for different types of wood, and it shows how thick your limbs need to be.
For a particular poundage?
Yes, for the poundage you want. So I wanted 45-pound draw weight, so I'd have my limbs within so many thousandths of an inch of each other.
Yeah.
Mine just so happened to turn out to be 1/1000th of an inch on each side difference.
Well, look, we got a couple callers starting here. Let's go ahead and jump over here. And JC, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. How you doing, man?
Doing great. We appreciate you calling.
Yeah, I got a question about these senior licenses. You know, I've had them now for about 10 years, and I'm wondering what all they cover. I went today and got my permit, you know, to hunt on the government land, you know, like rabbit hunt and squirrel hunt. And I'd like to know what all that covers. Does that cover deer, turkey? You got to get a permit when you...
The permit that you got today, did you get what's called a Type 94 today?
I got it was $21 for the hunt on that. I call it government land, probably TWRA.
WMA, okay. If you've got that Type 94, along with if you got the permanent, the lifetime senior's license, or which one do you have?
Yeah, I've got the senior license.
Then you've got what you need. That will take care of you to deer hunt as well. And what that Type 94 does for you, because a lot of people don't know this, with that senior license, you do, unless it's the lifetime sportsman, which there is a difference, you have to get that 94 to be able to shoot the does. So that is one of the only things that's still required. So you're good to go.
Okay. Now, see, I'm just thinking about the senior license. I thought they covered everything that you wanted to hunt besides, hunting them.
It will cover everything that you want to hunt, other than with the 3 does a day. If you don't have a sportsman's license, you're required to have what's called a Type 94. But that 94 is also the WMA permit, so it's actually the same thing in one. So what you got there is called the Type 094, and that will also cover you to shoot does in Unadale. So you do have what you need. You are covered. You're good to go. I think I might have lost JC. Did we lose you? Okay.
There you are.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're covered. All right, good luck to you. Bye. Yeah, that's one of the confusing questions that I get about a lot, is that Type 94, because it's the same permit for WMAs and for the Unadale does. And I've always had a sportsman, and I know that you've gotten a sportsman a lot of times. You may too.
One.
But when you have that, you're kind of absent-minded about it, because you don't have to worry about anything. So it covers whatever you got. But if you don't, you've got to have that 94 to supplement to be able to do the doe hunt.
And don't you have to have a migratory bird if you're hunting? Or is that
You still have to have a migratory bird, even if you've got a sportsman
license, exactly.
Which there's no charge for that, but you've got to have it.
Yep.
So, but good question tonight on that. Now, Parker, back to building the bow. So you just did this in what, 2 or 3 days, or?
No, it took about 30 days.
About 30 days.
Depending on how much time you wanted to put into it, that's how long it takes.
Okay, so this was numerous weeks at school, just going into
that class and working on it anytime I got a chance.
Okay.
I took my time with it, and I made it perfect, knowing it was going to be the only bow that I ever do in my lifetime, more than likely.
Yeah, he says that, don't he, Mike?
Yeah, that's why I asked him.
When do people start calling him tonight wanting a price list, you know?
Yeah.
I can give them a price list,
that's
all right.
They just might not get a bow. Like it. Yeah, that's right. Well, tell me this. What about the string? Tell me about the string that's on it.
So we make the strings at school as well. You get these spools of thread, basically, and we got a loom and everything, so we wrap it around the loom and make a bunch of different strands come together, and then you twist it up and you add your other string on here and your knocking point, and I put pieces of beaver fur that I tan in there to silence the string a little bit, and before too long you have your own string made.
You ready to go? Well, let's go ahead and jump to another call. Tony, how are you doing?
Hey, pretty good, Jay. How are you?
Doing good. We appreciate you calling tonight. How can we help you tonight?
Well, I haven't really had any property in the past that I could hunt on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But I recently acquired some properties. I am a landowner now and have big game on my property, and looking to see exactly what I have to do without having to go buy a big game license to hunt my own property and process my own game.
Yeah. What you'll have to do there is you'll go get with TWRA. You can do this at Ellington, or I believe you might can even do it online now, but you'll need your land parcel number. Once you get that number, you can obtain what's called a landowner's permit, and at that point in time, it's good forever, as long as you're the owner of the land. Now, you will still have to check in the deer. Like if you take a deer or a turkey, you'll still have to get online and check it in, but that's it. You don't have to purchase any licenses or anything in excess of that. As long as you're on your property, you're good to go.
That's great.
Yep, just obtain that permit.
Buddy.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Good luck to you.
Yeah, congrats on that.
Have a good night, and congratulations to you.
Landowner.
That's right. Well, guys, let's get ready to go on over now and do this week's tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is being brought to you by my good friend Wes Stone over at Crowlight Real Estate Services. Y'all can find Wes at 1432 West Main Street in Lebanon, Tennessee, or give him a call there at the office at 615-444-8200, and let Wes take care of all your real estate needs. All right, well, I've got a muzzleloader tip for you tonight that I was talking to Mike and Parker about earlier, but this is something I've done for a while, and I think it does some good. It's helped me out, I think, anyhow. But I went out the other day, so we shot the muzzleloaders, like you normally do, get them cleaned up and get ready to go for the season. Well, rather than taking them back in my house and putting them upstairs and putting them in the safe and all that stuff, wherever you might have your safe, it's probably a heated area. Well, Saturday morning it's going to be really cold. So what I usually do, I come on home, get my muzzleloader cleaned up after I've shot it, cleaned it up, and I leave it out in my garage. And by doing that, it's not temperature controlled. That gun stays a nice cool temperature. When I load it up Saturday morning or Friday night, whichever one it is, that temperature's not going to change when I take it out of the house into the truck to take off and go to the farm.
That's
so
great tip.
That's your tip of the week. Don't take your gun inside, let it get all warm, and then take it out on a 30-degree morning, because it might make you have a sad opening day of muzzleloader. But we're going to get ready to take a quick break. We'll be right back here in just a minute with some more Southern Woods and Waters.